Yeah, you're a big mystery right now. Did you know the whole backstory when you were playing the first couple of episodes?
Yeah, I knew everything.
It had to be a mystery, so you couldn't really...
Yeah, but it was nice because as an actor, I could choose where I would reveal certain emotions or certain looks to certain characters at certain times to just kind of subliminally tell the story or give the audience a certain sensation or something. He's in such good shape. But yeah, I just, it was, yeah.
All right.
It's a vegan diet.
Thank you. Next.
Hi, I want to start by saying, Coleman, I was at your table earlier, and I was so nervous. I don't even know what I said. I just walked away feeling embarrassed. But now that I've had a few drinks, I'm acting like a normal human now. My question is really for anybody, but has there ever been a time where you read a script and maybe you had a hard time getting into character? Maybe you felt the line wasn't what your character would say or how they would act?
Yes, first of all, I love you. We didn't get a chance to say that to each other, so thank you for coming by and saying hi. You can all come by and say hi too, by the way. I'll be back there later. So with the rest of these guys. But anyway, I wanted to say that, you know what, it's interesting because we had a new writing team, new showrunners for this season. And so you're sort of, they're passing the baton off from the other writers who knew our voices. And there are times when, some of the writing may, jostle you just a hair. You're like, wait a minute. And I will tell you, the first few scenes that Strand had, I was being very obvious about my feelings. And I thought, that's the oddest thing. I'm like, Strand has never just said, oh, this is how I feel, exactly. And so I just said, as it's our responsibility as actors as well to sort of, you're beholden to your character and your story. And so I just, I approached it by just asking the question, are we clear that this is the way we want Strand to be now? Maybe, is it a definite choice? Or just to know that it's a choice that we're doing because the character we built is a bit more subtle about his feelings and what he needs, and is a little bit more mysterious. And so we had to really just adjust some of the writing in that way. Because we're like, oh, so they had to be aware, they're like, oh, no. We know that that's what he's feeling, but now we need to subvert that just a bit. So it is a dance, and sometimes you just have to dance and go with your writing team and the director as well. And so you sort of, you go with it. And there are times, but I think there are times when you read scripts that maybe don't appeal to you or you don't understand your way into it. And maybe, you have to unlock something else or maybe it's just not for you. So it's just like, you never know.
Coleman, one of my favorite scenes with Strand is when you're quoting famous last words with the Russian cosmonaut. And I wondered if you had anything to do with the creation of that scene since you're a playwright.
I'm a playwright, but I had nothing to do with that. That was all the writing team. It was written so beautifully. But
Jamie O'Brien?
I think it was, no, I think that was the one who was the poet, Alan.
Oh, Alan Page.
Alan Page wrote that, and he is a poet. And so, and he really knew Strand and the way he communicated. And I thought it was a nice private moment. It was our first time, I think, as an audience to see Strand just within himself and how he loves language, where his passion is, where his heart is, where his vulnerability is, because he's not in relation to anyone else. So I thought that was a very key episode to understanding Strand.
I thought it was amazing. I loved that scene. For me, when I was watching that, I was like, wow, like how he uses semantics to connect to his emotions. I thought it was pretty awesome.
Were you already watching or did you go back and binge it?
I binged everything of both shows. I've seen everything of both shows.
Hi.
Hi, my question is for Kim. Why did
Hi. Happy Sunday.
Hey, how you guys? Hey.
Happy Mother's Day, Norman.
Continue, my friend.
That's okay. I was just wondering why Madison let Troy go back at the ranch.
You mean before she killed him with a hammer?
Yeah.
All right, Kim, all right. Yeah.
Why she didn't kill him before. Multiple times.
So cute. She just gave him another. I think Madison really saw the charm and the potential that Troy had to use his darker demons to excel and to really be a leader and to get to the front of the game, But But I think once he really put everyone in harm's way for the final time, and her daughter included, I think that just, she realized that had to be it.
And it was hammer time.
And it was hammer time.
Daniel, how would you describe Troy?
Love with Madison.
Confused, yeah, in love with Madison. Yeah, I think I think the thing that you have to really that was very interesting about Troy is that, and the thing that I really loved about playing him is like he hasn't had any contact with human beings before this, and so when you watch him, he's learning as he's going how relationships, how he's having his adolescence at the same time as everybody is already in an apocalypse. So his brain is just taking on so much information. So he comes out in these very confusing ways. But I thought that was a really interesting way of writing a character who has not been integrated into society and is learning how those things work. And when he's constantly pushing boundaries, not because he loves pushing boundaries, but just doesn't know how far certain things go. And so I think the confusing aspect of it is just somebody who's like, oh, that reaction produces this, or this happens when I do that. And I think that's always a joy to play.
I do a podcast about all things Walking Dead, and I think Troy, you could say, has some psychotic tendencies. I don't know if you would say that, but some other people
You could say that.
But there are plenty of listeners who would write in support of Troy, because you just played it so damn charmingly. And I want to know how you feel about it. You must have gotten some feedback like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think people really relate to the idea of, like, of course he arrives on the scene and he feels like this very malevolent, thing, but I think, as Kevin said, like, people are just people, the grayness of people comes in the fact that they are both aspects, nobody is born evil and nobody is entirely evil. There are really big aspects that, that they just subverted in some way, and so that's always a really interesting thing is that people kind of go, oh, I relate to that. Being misunderstood, I relate to that, or I love someone so much that I don't know how to show them that. People relate to those things really heavily, and so I think that's why what people loved about him.
You could see some vulnerability there sometimes.
For sure, like, he's really broken, but is, still working it out at the same time.
Amazing. Hi, next.
Hello,
Hi.
What's your name?
my name is Natasha, and my question is for Coleman. As a fellow theater person, I noticed that you have a very broad theater history as well as movies. So how is this transition going into television?
How is this transition going into television? I'm still transitioning, I guess. I think I don't even transition, I just go back and forth. I'm also a writer and a director, and actually I have a musical that I co-wrote the book of on Broadway right now. So which shows that I'm still what's called Summer, the Donna Summer musical. So when you're in New York, go and check it out. And thank you. But I always it's always been important to me to keep, when you're an artist, you're an artist, and it doesn't matter the platform. I think that we still like, I know Jenna has a dance background as well. She's still very much interested in dance. We have writers, we have directors, we have everyone. We have another dancer right here. We're still engaging in. How do we just tell the story, So, and I think that's very just important to any artist. And so I'm always keeping my one foot in theater and in other mediums as well.
Thank you.
He's a great director. He's a great director.
I just directed episode 412, which featured Jenna and Maggie Grace, and we had a great time.
Awesome. Great.
Hi. First, I want to just wish everyone, either on stage or in the audience, a happy Mother's Day if you are a mother.
Hey, happy Mother's Day.
I also wanted to ask Jenna, what should we call you on the show? Naomi, Laura, or something else?
You can call me Sally. You can call me. All I could say to that is just keep watching.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what it was like to film that water slide stuff?
Yeah. Well, it was really funny. My mom called me and she was like, "Oh, God, that was so slimy and disgusting. Was it dangerous and so slippery?" I was like, "Nah, it was green paint. I had to act slippery." It was really fun. It was really cold because it was an extremely cold winter in Austin. So we had, in the sequence of filming, so we had crossed through the disgusting Walker pool, and so our characters are now wet. So now the entire week, every scene we filmed, we had to stay wet because every moment thereafter, we're wet. So we were wet in 30-degree weather doing these stunts outside for 15 hours a day. So it was super challenging, really awesome, really fun because we have great stunt coordinators. We get to do all our own stunts within, logical reason, not breaking bones. But we had to fake the slipperiness. It was super disgusting, when we had to walk through all the green, goopy water. And then sliding into the thing was really fun because you actually got to slide down, and that was cool. But then it was really, I had a lot of achy muscles. That's what I'm going to say. A lot of Epsom salts. That's what that was like.
Awesome. Hello.
Hello, I'm Daniel. Of course, like everybody, I'm a huge fan. I got a buddy that I got to binge watch all the shows, and it was his birthday, and his favorites is Kim and Coleman. I was just wondering if y'all would allow me to record you and saying happy birthday to him.
Absolutely.
His name is Josh.
Are you ready?
Ready? Just say it, right? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Josh.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, when I count to 3, can we say happy birthday to everyone else whose birthday it is? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, everyone else whose birthday it is. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
My question is for the veterans. When the new cast members came on, did you do anything special to welcome them? And Jenna, how is doing this show different from other things you've done?
The first thing we had to do was go to a place called Terry Black's for some ribs.
Yes.
We had to get everybody together and have a family dinner.
Yes.
Austin, Texas style.
Yes, yeah, and it was fun because we got to Austin. It's the first time we are in Austin. We had to find places to live. They had to also find places to live. But we were trying to catch up with each other. We just had hiatus, and now new showrunners, no story. I'm like, So finally, Coleman is like, let's have dinner. We need to sit down. And it was so great because we actually sat down without blood in our heads and whatever. And not after 17 hours of work, we really enjoyed that Saturday or Sunday. And we got to know each other a little bit more, not about the characters, but about each other. Garrett, which plays John Dory, his wife was visiting, so we got to meet his lovely wives. It was more personal, more fun, and that was the first thing we did right away, and it really bonded us because, we right away when we knew, okay, season 4 starts, we're going to Austin, we knew the new characters will come. So how can we make them part of the family? That was it all started with Coleman.
I wasn't invited.
What?
I wasn't either.
Me neither.
You were not there.
No, I'm just kidding. I was invited, I wasn't there.